Yes, everybody, good morning. Welcome back to FUTV Night TV. Welcome back to another live show here on the channel. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Ballon d'Or was done last night. That's out of the way now. We'll concentrate back on cup football this week. Sadly for United, we're not in any more cup competitions, so we have to wait for Brentford. We're talking about Manchester United squad. We're talking about the balance that Ruben Amorim has to find this morning on the show, because more speculation and rumours have come about certain players wanting out of Manchester United because they're not getting a place in the side. It's a good problem to have if you're winning, and hopefully we can continue that through this weekend, because then we've not really got an argument, or then players haven't got an argument as such. But players of topic like Kobbie Mainoo, but more importantly yesterday, Romano's comments on Joshua Zirkzee and how Manchester United have closed the door on a transfer for him, seems a little unfair if he's not going to get any minutes, which I don't think he will. And so we're going to talk about that first of all this morning as well. Alongside Manchester United's top midfield targets going into the new year, Romano talking about that also. More reports on the future of Casemiro. Are United going to try and attempt to sell Casemiro in January? Again, then adding more speculation to the future of Kobbie Mainoo, because if we do bring another midfielder in and another one has left United and he still doesn't get in, how can Ruben defend his stance with him and him not getting game time? The internationals are done after November. It's as simple as that. And then you've got one more international break, and that's it. For all international managers, they're not going to get a chance to see these players. This is the problem that Ruben's balancing right now. It's a bit of a dilemma, and he has definitely got some decisions to make regarding Manchester United's players. So let's get into all of that. So we'll get all of your thoughts on that. Get into the live chat. Speaking of the live chat, I just switched on this morning, actually. I just wanted to make a point of this before we actually got into the news and everything like that. But I turned on the stream. Obviously, it's been running as people have been entering the room before we start the show officially, and I can just see the community there absolutely having a ball. Like, I absolutely love that, and it gets taken for granted a lot, I think, on YouTube, but I just love the fact that everyone in the community's getting on talking, and it's like everyone has just waited for the live show this morning to continue their conversations from yesterday. Love it. The vibe is great. Also in there, I just noticed one of the mods, actually, and credit to all of the mods for keeping that community going, by the way, but Gems in there, another big win on Match Bingo. Scan the QR code now, everybody. Match Bingo. Another 120 quid for Gems won last night, which is mega. She's earning a fortune at the moment. I don't know what she's doing or how she's doing it, but grab your QR code discount right now. If you put FUTV into the promo code on Match Bingo now, when downloading the app, you will get a 200% deposit boost. 200%, yes. It's only £2 a game, so you can imagine what that does. People depositing £5 and automatically getting boosted by that deposit straight away with this promo code, giving them a chance to play more games and more cards for not as much money put in. So use the FUTV code now, everybody. Gems again in there, smashing it. I don't know how she's doing, she's winning a fortune right now. We'll get on to that. There are match day sponsors as well, everyone. Right, let's get into the actual stories. Let's get into what's actually going on around Manchester United right now. I've got Mainoo and Zirkzee on the thumbnail there, as you've seen, and the standoff really is, it's not so much as in like it's heated or there is a major problem behind the scenes. I actually do believe Zirkzee and Mainoo just want to be on that pitch for Manchester United, and they're working hard behind the scenes. I know they're working hard behind the scenes. There isn't one person at Manchester United that I know, or reports coming out from Manchester United, or anyone at all reporting that there is any issue with Zirkzee or Mainoo at all at this football club. Let's get that clear from the start. This isn't one of them that there is issues behind the scenes. These are top professional players, but they just want to play. They just want to play football, and that's the dilemma. That's the issue that we've got, because these players, as much as they are fully on board with what's happening, the project and everything like that, they are not going to get game time. We know this now from what we've seen early doors this season. One game a week is not enough to balance this squad out and give everybody an opportunity. It's too important, and Ruben Amorim's job is literally on the line, as we've spoken about aplenty already. 2 wins in the first 6 games this season, although we did have a great win against Chelsea the other day. It still isn't good enough, and we know we need to build on this. So what's he going to do in the next game? He's going to go to his tried and trusted again. And we know Kobbie Mainoo is 4th choice midfielder after what substitutes were made against Chelsea the other day. We also know that Joshua Zirkzee got no minutes whatsoever. Maybe the fact that we had a player sent off has hampered that, but Zirkzee is behind Benjamin Sesko, is behind Mason Mount, Matthias Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, Amad Diallo, and Bruno Fernandes, really, if you're thinking about that 10 role. Joshua Zirkzee can't play anywhere else in this system but one of them front three positions, and I'm sorry, you need to give time to Benjamin Sesko, and you're never going to drop Mbeumo, you're never going to drop Matthews Cunha when them players are fit. And even then, Mason Mount has been pushing Sesko out of that number 9 role by coming in as one of the other 10s. So you can see how far down the pecking order Zirkzee is. So is he okay with actually sitting on the bench constantly, week in, week out, and maybe grabbing the odd minute here and there? Ronald Koeman already does not like him in the Dutch squad. He's already said last season when he was playing there, there's more to come from him and he needs to do a lot better. He's not got in the international squad this season simply because he's just not featuring for Manchester United. Now, Romano has come out and said that Joshua Zirkzee is attracting a lot of attention from Italy, and there is plenty of options there for him who are willing to buy Joshua Zirkzee, and this could come about in January, but Manchester United and Ruben Amorim have shut that door. And in Romano's words here, he has said that Joshua Zirkzee is a big player and he is going to be a big part of Manchester United's future. Now, I'm just looking at that on paper and I'm thinking, it's all right saying that, but this again goes back to what we did last night in the special video. The banking on Manchester United's season now, realistically, on being successful on this season is huge for the players that we've got at this football club. It's absolutely massive for what's happening right now at Manchester United. And when you look at the situation that's developing here with Zirkzee, with Mainu, with other players on the fringes, we just said it there. There's not enough games. The internationals come about 3 times before December, and that's it then until March. So they've got no chance of impressing their managers or going out on international duty. If they're not playing games for their clubs, they're just not going to get picked anyway. It's as simple as that. Unless you are a Stonewall pick and you're going to get there. And there are certain players at the international level that get that, don't they? But like we said last night, Manchester United right now, where we're at and what's happening, everything riding on Ruben Amorim being successful and getting back into Europe next season. Now, he could argue that point and say, that's the future. We need these players because we're going to be in so many games next season. Well, these players, again, like we've also said before, are looking at this summer and not being part of a World Cup where all their teammates are off to the USA, but they're not because they're not playing. So, yeah, that's what you've got to look at now, I think, for Ruben Amorim, and that is the issue. So with him needing to get into Europe, that's one thing, and the future of his Manchester United career, Ruben Amorim's that is based off Man United getting 6th in the table, like we said last night, with the financial structure that Ineos have got in place for the future. He's also looking at that, so thinking, right, I have to get back into Europe with my best team, so week in, week out, 1 game a week, I can only play a certain amount of players, and them players are going to have to be the players that I know are 100% my go-to players. That's a definite, that's a given, and that's just a guarantee, isn't it? That's where we're at with Ruben Amorim right now. He's not going to be chopping and changing players 1 game a week. So they're just not going to get the minutes that they need, I feel, in this period right now. And again, January will come quicker than you know it. It's only 3 months away now before this January window opens. And if these players, with 2 more international breaks to come, and only in the next couple of months, realistically, you've got about 8 to 9 Premier League games to play for Manchester United. That's not a lot when you've got 2 months of football to play before December hits, and we've got 1 or 2 midweek games and the fixtures start piling up. This is a serious issue for Ruben in terms of how he keeps them players happy now. And again, like, Ruben's future is one thing, and these players might feature next season. But right now, how does he bring them into the fold to make them feel like they're part of this season? You cannot ignore a full season. It's all right saying you're the future and there's a big plan for you. When does that plan come in? How does that plan come in? And that's the problem that he's got. If United are saying you're not going anywhere, then that's when you get the issue of like, well, I'm not playing, boss. I'm not getting any minutes at all. Please just let me go and play football. Because he cannot argue with that, Ruben Amorim. He can't. And Manchester United can say all day long that these players are not for sale. You're not going. You're not going. But if you don't play them players, then they're not going to be happy. The only way that them players have got nothing to argue about is, like we said, this is now up to Ruben Amorim and this team to start winning. If we start winning games, then no one in Manchester United's squad can bat an eyelid. No one can say anything. well, it's hit and miss and up and down and it's not consistent, then he has got a big problem to handle, because clearly the players that he is playing week in, week out are not doing the job. So why are they going to wait around for Ruben Amorim to bring him in his future and his plans? Because Ruben might not be there. And then you don't know what's happening with the next manager at Manchester United. And that's how them players will probably think. Well, it won't probably be the players. The players will be professional, like I've said. But what you'll get is the agents coming in and starting to get into their ears. It's like, what are we doing? We're not even getting on the pitch. Why are we here? Kobe Mainoo and Xerxes could probably get better contracts as well elsewhere with the money that they're on. They're two of the lowest paid players at Manchester United right now in the current wage structure. So they could be thinking, and their agents will be like, well, we can get more and actually play games. If anything, we can at least play games elsewhere. And so, yeah, it's important. You know what? All of this, and I don't care about players, by the way, on the sidelines, but I understand the argument if that team is not winning. And Ruben Amorim persisting with them players if they're not winning. Now, we got the win against Chelsea. Unless he wins at Brentford, then all of this starts to pile on to the problem of Manchester United, where they are in the league and how they're playing. That's the problem that he's got. That's the dilemma, because these players will just say to him, look, we're losing, you're still not picking us, you're not changing anything, let us go in January. And that's the conversation which will 100% happen right now. So Romano coming out and saying Xerxes' door is shut, that for me, I think is a little bit harsh. I mean, it's not harsh, but we have to start seeing him play games. Do I want to see him play games? Realistically now, if I'm being honest as a Manchester United fan, and I'll ask you all the same question in the chat right now, and of course, get into the comments below. Do you want to see Joshua Xerxes play? In your head, you will say yes. Well, do you want to see him replace Cunha? No. Do you want to see him replace Mbumo? No. Do you want to see him in place of Benjamin Sesko? No, because we want to see them players. So realistically, you're saying as a fan as well now, and this is how I feel inside, which is why I want to ask you, if that's how we feel, then there is no place for Joshua Xerxes, is there? As much as we like him and we want him to be on the bench, he might not be all right with that, and he might want to get game time. And sometimes, again, and I have said this a lot of times before, we forget about the players' side of things and what the player's going through. And there is two sides to every single part of it. These two are not kicking up a stink behind the scenes. Yeah, their agents might cause a problem here and there, but that's normal in football. But they're working hard, they're playing, they're training, they're getting on with everybody at Manchester United. We know this for a fact because of all the reports coming out that they are very, very light people at Manchester United, both of these players, and they're grafting. But they're not going to get in the side. So that's the dilemma that Ruben's got right now. He has to find a way to get these two players in the side. Otherwise, there is no complaint from anybody. And not even me. Like I cannot argue if United are winning. If United are winning, Kobe stays on the bench. If United are not winning, then you have to be looking at Ruben Amorim and saying, why then, Ruben? Why are you not changing it? And you don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to them players leaving in January because you're just not playing them. That I think is that's the problem that he's got. That is the full-on dilemma. Right. And by the way, I've just noticed someone's actually just posted out and just told me that Gems has just gifted 5 memberships in the chat. Thank you very much, Gems. But she has now won 600 quid. Is that right? Is that right? Let me just double check that. 600 quid in total on Match Bingo Gems has won. Holy crap. Holy crap. I'm just looking at that going, 600 quid. Wow. And yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything. I actually love that. But it's like, Gems, share it out with everybody else. Anyway, let's get into the comments. Thank you for them gifted memberships, Gems. Absolutely love that. Thank you. I need 120 grand, says Robbie. What for, mate? Is that like a weekly wage for a player or something like that? Xerxes needs to move on for his career, he also says as well. Amani also comes in with a super chat and says, you can't build consistency if you chop and change every week. But if that team is losing, Manny, like I said, and that was the big point I said, mate, and that's what I wanted to get across. If that team is losing and you don't change it, there's no margin at all for Ruben Amorim to even debate. There isn't, because he's not willing to change what's going wrong. And that's when players will look at it. So you have to look at the players' side of things as well as this. That if, like you said, Manny, United are winning, then there's no problem at all. No problem at all. And this, I think, is exactly where Ruben Amorim is at right now. Win games and nobody can kick up a stink, mate. That's where you're at. But if he's not winning them and it's inconsistent, 2 wins in 6, these players are saying, well, why don't I get a chance then? If I'm working as hard as everybody else in training, then why don't I get a chance? And in the end, it will be Ruben Amorim's job as well, won't it? Andy replying to Manny there says, this has been Ruben's problem. The system needs a familiarity and intuitive understanding between players. But again, like Mainu over Agate, like Agate's understanding of this system, he has done nothing at all this season to even say that he's understanding this system. Nothing at all. Honestly, again, this is where people will pick up on it. And now Casemiro is suspended for Brentford. It's going to be really interesting to see who steps in. Because if he does pick Agate next to Bruno Fernandes in that midfield and doesn't get the win, you know what's coming. I'm just teeing it up. Like, I am fully expecting this team to do what they've usually done. Now, I'm going to be the one that everybody's saying, why are you being so negative? Why do you think United will lose to Brentford this weekend? Because I know this team. Now, if they don't and they win, I will sit here and I will start talking completely different ball game, because this is something new for United. 2 wins in a row and actually moving forward. I think that is what needs to be talked about more. But I'm just guessing here. From what I know, from what I've seen already, I see United losing against Brentford. We shouldn't, and we should be winning it. This is just where I'm at as a fan right now. Unless something has changed, unless Ruben has really got into these players, they can actually use a decent result and bounce off it, then you cannot convince me that United are going to go into this game off the back of that Chelsea result and beat Brentford. I'm not. I need to be convinced on the day, is what I'm saying. So if I'm going off what's happening right now, I don't see United winning that game. I don't. And I said this before the Chelsea game. I said we beat Chelsea and then we'll lose to Brentford. That's just how United operate. If we do beat Brentford, then finally, thank you. Something has changed, which makes me look at this team a little bit differently. And I pray that that is the case. I really do. I want that to be the case so much. I've just not had enough to convince me yet, that's all. And that's just me being absolutely honest. You can look at the stats. You can look at everything that's going on. Manchester United creating more chances. United having more shots. The XG is off the scale at Manchester United right now. So things are different. And there is that little bit of hope. But our conversion rate is appalling. Again, like it was last season. We're ranked 17th. And even Ruben Amorim has come out and said exactly the same thing. So you can't say it's me being negative. Ruben has said the same thing again here. We have all of the stats. You can see the XG. You can see the difference in touches in the box. You can see how many chances we created, how many clear-cut chances created. United top of that and the XG and the amount of shots on goal this season. That's, again, we're even ranked 6th in the league for most goals scored this season also. So if you wasn't watching Football Talks the other day, yesterday I did a full breakdown of the Premier League season. Go and subscribe to Football Talks as well. Look at the amount of shots on target in each game. I made a big point in breaking it down statistically. It was horrendous this weekend. Like the average of shots on target between both sides in games this weekend was appalling. It really was. And for Man United to be top of the charts for shots on goal, top of the charts for clear-cut chances created, 6th in the league for goals scored this season as well, and the XG being right up there for Manchester United, that says a lot. But United are ranked 17th for shot conversion, and that's the one. That needs consistency up front, which means Cunha and Mbumo and Sesko to build that partnership and that little understanding between them to get more, I feel. That, for me, means no room for Joshua Zirkzee, because the more you chop and change that, the more understanding new players need to get together, and it doesn't work. Is Joshua Zirkzee willing to be a substitute? That's all we're saying, I think, in this one. And that, I think, is the big problem that he's got. If he's winning games, it's a good problem. If he's not, it's a massive problem for him. And just want to balance it out a little bit there. Remember what the players' stance is. Remember that it's not always about what the fans want and what we think is right at Manchester United. There's a lot that comes down to how the players act and respond to Ruben and what's happening. And there's only so many words you can say before players give up, because you're not getting no action. And that, I think, is where we're at right now, because we are, 6 games in, and Cobby started 1 game against Grimsby. Has Joshua Zirkzee started a game yet this season? He's not started one, has he? And that, again, that says a lot. That when we're already now, next week, entering into October. So you're into October and you've not featured. Your 2 international breaks down, you've not even been thought of because you've been nowhere near the side. United need to start winning games. And that's the only way that Ruben will be able to hold this stance right now. Given the power front line of Mbeumo, Sesko and Cunha, Zirkzee should be well ahead of Mount. Well ahead of Mount? I really don't think so. I don't, because Mount's been our most consistent player so far this season, Manny. And I don't think anybody can deny that. When he's played, he has been very, very good. So Mount's probably got more of a shout than Zirkzee right now because he's played and played well. So, again, if Ruben's going to go with Mount, then that's on Ruben to not bring Zirkzee in. So you can say that Zirkzee should have more of a shout than Mount, but you're backing the manager, like you've said, and Mount's ahead of Joshua Zirkzee as well. So, again, the dilemma, the problem Ruben's got, is he creating it himself? Or is there a shout here to say these players just need to actually get in line and prove that they're worth it? But then again, how do they prove? Just training? You know that's never going to lie with a player. You know that's not enough. That isn't enough. So, yeah, where I do get that you could say, look, they've just got to do it. They have to show that they are that playoff. They have to show that they should be in the first team. If they don't get in, and how much can you talk about when it comes to actually looking into a game time? Like training time and game time is completely different, and players are just not going to go with training at all. They want to play football. If we beat Brentford, I will buy you a pint, Adam. Thank you, Robbie. You've already done enough, mate, with your super chats. You don't need to buy me a pint. If we beat Brentford, I'll buy you a pint, mate. By the way, this is just a question. I wanted to gauge the chat right now. In fact, I might actually do a poll on this one and just see who would be up for a pub watch along. Just asking the question: who wants to join me in a pub watch along? Actually, who thinks that is actually a good idea? I can gauge that off the chat anyway, which is something that we're thinking about, just to bring everybody together. And then I can buy a few people a few drinks as well on that day. So just brought it up there, Robbie, actually. Who would be up for that if we organise one for one of the away games this season? Let me know in the chat, everybody, on that one. Man United under-21s play at Old Trafford on Wednesday. Tickets are £10. Get along to that game, everybody. Get along to that game. Watch the under-21s at Old Trafford. Tom there putting that in. Love that, Tom. Thank you, mate. I don't know about the Brentford game, and I am a bit worried about it, even though we should hammer them this season, as they are not as good, but we can't get away from our shot conversion rate. If you take the chances we create, we are not even worried about this season right now. That's how clear it is. It's, for me, the difference between Man United actually making it this season and not. And that, I feel, right now, like Andrew says there, is the actual difference for Manchester United this season. That, I think, is ultimately now, if we can convert them, if we can start actually putting them chances away that we're creating, then we can back up the argument of the stats. We can back it all up. But like Ruben said, the only stat that matters is the wins. And if you don't put them chances away, Ruben said it in his press conference, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about XG. It doesn't matter about chances created. It doesn't matter about touches in the box. If you don't score, nobody's talking about it. We're talking about it to try and back it up and as an argument at the moment. But XG is only worth something if you're scoring goals and winning games. Nobody gives a toss. XG actually can be embarrassing for a team. Yes, you've created it. And for Man United this season, having spent £200 million plus on a whole new forward line and our XG to be higher than anybody else's, that actually is not good for Manchester United, because it means we're creating more and the forwards are not scoring enough. So really, you can look at it a few different ways. And that, I think, is where Ruben's at the moment. I think he's being brutally honest. And this is why I love Ruben Amorim. This is why I love Ruben and his stance. He says things that the fans are watching. He understands that everybody's watching that game. You cannot pull the wool over people's eyes. You can't. Everyone knows exactly what they're watching. Everyone knows that Manchester United are struggling in front of goal. So put your chances away, and there's no issue there at all, is there? Don't drink me. Designated taxi man says Ant. I've put that actually in the chat right now. Actually, I've just put a poll up, everyone. Who would be up for a pub watch along if we can organise one? We're maybe thinking possibly November time for this. A designated pub in and around the Manchester area. Of course, let me know. There's lots of people that are far away that might want to just come in. I don't know. There's a lot of people that might want to make a weekend of it. So if we give enough notice, maybe you would be up for it. But let me know, everyone. Let me know. Y5 defenders every match. Also substitutions of defenders. Soon we'll park the bus. The in-game management for Ruben Amorim on that side of things. The constant changing of defenders is something. Even while I was at Alfie's training last night, someone came up to me who knows United, watches the channel, knows me. He said, why does he keep substituting centre-backs? Centre-backs never come off the pitch. No, they don't. I don't understand it, and I've got no explanation for it. You'd be thinking that you were making substitutes in and around the forward area to try and win games off. Like, we've got an abundance of forwards there. And Kobe could do a job in a 10. Xerxes can do a job in a 10. Xerxes could probably do a job in a 9 right at that point. And again, I've got no explanation at all. None at all for this. Manny, Adam, are you saying I should fly there? It's a bit of an ask for you, mate. But what we're looking to do as well is we're still looking to try and live stream it. It's just an idea that we're floating around at the moment that we want to gauge everyone's thoughts. Come and watch the game with us at the pub, and we'll get it live on YouTube. You can be on the channel. We can celebrate together or commiserate together. And we'll get a few people's opinions and make a few videos after the game, get some match analysis from a few different people, make a bit of an afternoon of it. If anyone is up for that, then let me know. Honestly, drop your comments in. Hit me up on social media as well. Hit the DMs on any of the accounts, Instagram or Twitter. They're both there at the bottom of the description on this video, everybody. So if you're up for it, let me know. We're trying to sort it out and organise it maybe, but we're trying to gauge numbers at the moment as well and interest. It's sort of half planned at the moment in case we do get enough that would be up for it. So yeah, that's the thought and that's the idea. Trying to bring everybody in on the channel, bring the community together in person as well. We met with Tom and Stu the other day, a couple of the mods over at Salford Quays before the Chelsea game. Had a couple of drinks with them, which was great. Let's just spread it a little bit more. Let's get a few people over to Manchester for a game, and let's all have a little bit of a drink and a talk together. It's just asking, just seeing where everyone's at with it. But get into the poll and let me know what you think about that, everyone. United Spotlight Carl says, my mate sent me a pic, Adam. It was when you were still on United stand. Me, you, Big Rick, and my mates. So I have actually met you before. Really? I think it was Hamid at the time. Like, that's a weird one, mate. Small world, buddy. But yeah, that's good to know. But it'd be good to get a few people down. Peter says, you're chatting like this is something unique to United, mate. It's not. Modern football is a squad game, and every squad contains players who rarely, if ever, get a game. I'm sorry, mate. We're talking about Kobe Mainoo here. This is a guy who featured in finals of European Championships for England that everybody's talking about. Pete, look, mate, you can try and have a go at me if you want for that, which looks like what you're trying to do there. Forgive me if I'm wrong there, but this is genuine, mate. This is a problem at Manchester United. Yes, there are. But if, like I said, and I always add context to what I say, so if you missed it, I'll just say it again, buddy. This is a problem if United are not consistent. Why would you not try other players if the same ones keep failing? And that point I was making, and I backed it up by saying, if United keep winning, then shut up and sit on the bench, like you said, mate. But United are not in a normal circumstance, and we're not that team we was anymore, pal. We are losing games as much as we're winning games, if not more, over the last 5 or 6 months under Ruben Amorim. So that's the point we're trying to make, buddy, on this one. I always add context, mate, so don't just go for the headline. Listen in and you will see a different side to it, I promise you, on that one. FUTV Army flying up the northern quarter. It's going to be. It's not going to be in the town centre. It'll be somewhere easier for people to get to if we do it anyway. But yeah, working on that, everyone. So I'll leave that poll running just to see where everybody is at. Already I can see there is more than enough in that chat that people up for it. It depends if people would back it up as well. So it would be a ticket event for the pub itself. We'll organise it. Let's just see. Anyway, moving on to other stories. Let's get into them as well. The incomings from Fabrizio Romano and what's been said. He's talking about Baleba being Manchester United's number one midfield target still. Now, we knew Romano would go with this. Even with the drop-off in form, Manchester United are still targeting Carlos Baleba. There's a few other websites that I've read through this morning and last night as well that are saying the same thing, but this is straight from Romano, so we can say Caught Offside have said this. A few other websites have said it as well, another journalist, but Romano has always backed this up and said Manchester United. Now, Liverpool apparently have got an interest in it. At the moment, Romano is still saying that this is Man United's player. Carlos Baleba wants United. United will keep a very, very close eye on Baleba's situation. We said this also last night. It's as expected. We said this in the transfer window, and transfers are not quite relevant at the moment, why I'm putting them towards the back of the show. But again, remember what Romano said with Baleba. So all the stories you see about transfers floating around, Liverpool in for Baleba, Romano's teed this one up because I think there's something already agreed. And we've always said this. Like at the moment, Baleba is a problem because he's not playing well. He's not deliberately doing it. I wouldn't think any player would deliberately down tools. And I made a point on that the other day. Like I wouldn't want him anyway if that was the case. Forget it. I would take Elliot Anderson. But Agome has come back up as another option for Manchester United in the headlines. Again, Agome over Baleba if Baleba is too dear. This is, I feel, right now, honestly, I still think Baleba is United's top target. But I think United will feel right now that they've got an even better opportunity to take Carlos Baleba because he really isn't being used like Hertzler thought he would be. And do you know what? This is the first time United have gone in at Brighton, and Brighton probably thought that they could take the stance. Now, I'm not running the Man United high road with this here at all, but just hear me out on this. This is how I see it as a United fan. Yeah, he's going to be our player. No, he's not going to go to United. We're going to stand firm. We know that he'd agreed personal terms and wanted to come to United, and so too did Brighton. Like you would. This is how transfers work, so no issue there. And Brighton have come out and said, no, not for sale, no price, see you later, we're confident he's going to stay. They didn't really anticipate the reaction or the aftermath of this and Baleba's form this season. Now, I'm not saying one player being out of form has really hampered Brighton, but 1 win in 5 for Brighton, and it's probably their worst start in a few years. And Hertzler, I fully feel, he's felt bullish with what was behind him and the organisation that Brighton are. But at the same time, I think definitely under anticipated what was going to happen with this. He's got a young lad there who has had his head turned by Manchester United. And this is the power of Manchester United as well. And he's just not there. So Brighton, their stance on this, if he keeps on playing the way he is and he's in and out of form and not featuring for Hertzler, then you've got a player there that they need to start thinking of moving on before he completely drops off in terms of transfer fees and prices. Like I said, like he is not the same player this season at all because of this. Like I've still got my issues, like I said, like a player dropping off because of the thought of Manchester United concerns me, because then I start to think about the mentality. But overall, the transfer outlook for Carlos Baleba is looking a lot more promising for Manchester United now. And I think Romano, I'm not saying he knew that the form was going to drop off for Baleba, but he knew that something was going to happen again with this. And he'll come back and tell us, I told you 6 months ago that this was happening, and he will make a fortune off it. You know how it works. That's just what he does. But anything coming about, there has been a bit of talk with Liverpool and things like that coming in. But I think, again, it's all geared towards Manchester United. But Agome is there, Elliott Anderson is also there for Manchester United, Adam Wharton, all of them players are there in the conversation right now. So let's just see exactly what happens with this one going forward. I do believe that there is going to be I won't say big buy. I would say important, substantial transfer in January. I think there will be for Man United. It's all gearing up to that. Lots of people talking about a pub watch along. I love it. Great subject to talk about. A few drinks watching Man United hopefully win. I would love that. Anyone actually scared though that we might actually lose and what the mood would be like? Oh God, get out of my way. Oh, it would be a damp squib, wouldn't it? No, look, we'd have a great time anyway, and at least we'd be able to drown our sorrows together. But I'm loving people talking about that in the chat. So yeah, let's see. I will gauge that even more. Going off the numbers from the poll so far, we've got more than enough to fill a little venue to do this. So let's see how we can develop this going forward. But please do. I might even just put out there on the community section on the channel, put a post out there, put a poll in that, who's up for that, and then we can start organising it properly and see what we can do about it. But yeah, I will definitely look at it. United Focus says, I don't believe I think he's supposed to say, I don't think Belabor is frightened there by the prospect of coming to United. I think it was the excitement and what he could do for his career and the prospect of moving just got him overthinking for it. But we are now well into the season. We are now obviously moving into like October next week, like I said, and his form hasn't improved at all yet. In fact, it's getting worse. And Hurtzler bringing him off at half-time, his big statements, twice that's happened this season, and there's been games he's not even started this season as well. And the unsettled player in a squad, especially if it's a first-team player, can cause a big problem. So it's playing into United's hands at the moment, I would say. Adam, would it be better with this Camavinga, as he will have a better mentality and class player and experienced and is a winner and knows how to win trophies? And Adam, would you choose Camavinga or Wharton? I like the Prem proven player factor. I like the fact that Wharton knows the Premier League. I love Camavinga. The fact that he's 22 as well, like same age as both of these players. I would take Camavinga. I like him. I do. But again, like I could just easily say that I want Prem proven players, and that seems to be the working part of what's happened so far for Manchester United in this window. So if I had to choose between Wharton and Camavinga, it's difficult, but do you know what? In a way, I'd probably go with Adam Wharton after this. I love Camavinga, I do, but the proven Premier League player is gold for where we're at right now. I can't even think about Champions League and all of that right now. I can't, because we're not going to win the Champions League in the next 3 or 4 years. Can United get in the top 4 with a Prem proven player in the next 3 or 4 years and be consistently in that top 4? Yeah. So I'm thinking of the Premier League rather than the Champions League. And I know Camavinga can adapt to the Premier League. I'm not even saying that, but I just feel like Cunha's come in, it's worked. And Mbumo's come in, he's been an absolute breath of fresh air for Manchester United. And I feel like that policy in transfers is what's going to get United where we need to in the coming years. So I would go with Adam Wharton on that one. Good question, mate. Thank you for that. It's who I look like, Klopp. Okay, right. Someone's saying that I look like Jurgen Klopp again. Seriously, like that Klopp thing has to drop. Obviously, I'm banning you. No, I'm not. I'm not. It is quite funny though. I've seen it in certain pictures and people have really milked it to death from that. I don't think I look like Klopp, but then again, you never think you look like something or someone until someone pulls up a picture and compares you to him. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to live with that one. Let's see what else we've got. All right, yeah, Carl's going to be getting a hotel if he comes down. There's loads of people well on board for this here. As I make it there at the moment, we've got nearly 200 people that have said that they would be there. This is mint. Love it. Right. I will look into this, definitely. I will put an extra poll up on it. Ayindi says, Mbumo and Cunha, newly signed, although need time, are already outperforming players that have been in the club for over a year. Players should step up and improve instead of forcing to leave. They have come in and done a job. And let's not forget, in the case of Xerxes and Mainu, both of these players have been part of one of Man United's worst ever seasons. In fact, worst ever season in the Premier League. So you could argue that they should just accept that they had plenty of game time last season and they failed. So yeah, there is that element to it. There is 100% that there. So yeah, let's also put that into the equation. In terms of other news as well, Casemiro, Manchester United will sell Casemiro according to reports in January if a bid comes in. Now, I can't see it. I think Casemiro will see out the contract and leave on a free in the summer, but it does show you where United are at. Casemiro's got no future at Manchester United. I've seen Brazilian reports now saying this is his last year. I've also seen reports saying that if the right bid comes in January, United will sell him. And if Casemiro leaves and another midfielder comes in and Mainu doesn't start, it brings up that subject again, like where is the future for Kobbie Mainu at Manchester United? So that I feel is now where we're at with the midfield area at Manchester United. And Casemiro, we know he's going to be gone no matter what. Can Kobbie last it? Can he stick around and feel part of it? But I do think that Man United will actually, honestly, I think Man United will buy 2 more midfielders. I think they'll get one in January and they'll get another one, at least one more, in the summer. If Bruno leaves, then maybe even 3 midfielders need to come into Manchester United. And that sounds like a lot, but when you think about the players that are leaving, then, yeah, you definitely need 3. We need 1 now, and if Casemiro and Bruno leave in the summer, we definitely need 2 more to replace them. So, yeah, we need 3 central midfielders. So, look, I just plough all of our budget into midfield in the summer. I do. I believe in what we've got. We don't need another goalkeeper, like stupid report that Samuel Luckers came out with last night. Apparently Andre Onana, by the way, check this out, feels let down by Manchester United. Well, it takes 2 to tango, Andre, and we feel really let down by you, mate, as well. So don't forget that. But also in that report, Romano also saying on Andre Onana, the relationship is done. Onana will never play for Manchester United again. If anything, that alone this season will just keep me happy. I'll just think back to that. Andre Onana is upset with Manchester United. I've just lost a game of football. I'm devastated. I'm upset. Andre Onana's upset with Manchester United. And I just a little smile on my face again because we've no longer got Andre Onana. That will obviously be a big part this season, I feel. And when Lamens comes in, which I think he will do, and I hope it is this weekend against Brentford. When he comes in, I think he stays in. Personally, I think that will be the day. United are prepping him right now, and again, more people are talking about what he's doing in training at the moment. He has found his feet, apparently, and is really now looking forward to getting in that team, and I think the team themselves are looking forward to seeing him play as well. We're going to need a whole pub, says Tom, at this rate. We're taking over, FUTV takeover, people. Let's see. Hopefully everyone is willing to be up for it as well. And it's not just a simple yes on a poll. We can get quite a few there. We will organise it properly as well. We'll ticket it up so we know that people are going to come if they're going to get the tickets. It won't be a lot anyway in terms of pricing and things like that. But certain events like this do need to be organised properly. So I'll get onto that and I'll let you all know very, very soon on it. But keep voting as well if you feel like you're up for that, and we can gauge off that. Luckhurst is a clown, says Robbie with the super chat. He's moved. I didn't have a chance to gauge your reaction from this, but if you follow Manchester United quite a lot, then you, like me, will have seen the media merry-go-round which has gone on with Samuel Luckhurst and Disco Dave swapping places near enough, except Samuel Luckhurst has gone to the Sun and Dave has left the Mirror and gone to the MEN. I know both of these guys, and obviously I've seen them a lot with some of the work I've done around the media around United. Didn't see that one coming at all. I really didn't. But yeah. The realist says, right, off ski. Right, I'm off ski. Adam, great show. FUTV family, thank you, realist. Have a good day, mate. Have a good one. Also, quickly, there was one more story I wanted to talk about, but it was a kind of nothing story, which was the links from El Nacional with Xavi being the replacement for Ruben Amorim if it goes wrong. Ruben's going to have a great season, and we don't need another manager. Can we just say that? I hope that that's the case. I really do. I don't want another manager. I really don't. I just want it to be one man, and at least we get 3 or 4 years out of one manager. And I would just like that. At least 3 years out of a manager. That will be good. That will be good. But yes. By the way, everybody, option for you tonight. There are several watch-along possibilities for us. Would you be interested in watching any of these games? Like, I think today is the Carabao Cup game. Lincoln, Chelsea, Wolves v Everton. What else have we got there? Burnley, Cardiff, Liverpool, Southampton, Wrexham, Reading, Barnsley, Brighton, Fulham, Cambridge. Any of them games? Anybody interested in watching? Or should we do a watch-along for anything? Let me know in the comment section as well, please, everybody, on that one. And that pretty much is our show this morning, everyone. Everything is covered. Thank you so much. Welcome new members. Welcome new subscribers. Thank you for all the super chats, everybody. I haven't asked once for you to like the video all the way through the live stream. So now we're right at the end. I'm just going to ask you politely to pop a like on the video. It's free and it helps the channel massively. Also, please hit the subscribe button as well if you're loving the content. And let me know if you think this is the best community out there on YouTube. Particularly if we can organise a pub watch-along with a few people as well. I think that will show the strength of the channel also. But I'll let you know on that and more as we go. Like the video, share it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And don't forget, match bingo. Do like gems. Win 600 quid. That's there for everybody to see in there. Scan the QR code, download the app, deposit £5, put in the promo code FUTV, all capitals, and boost that deposit by not 2, not 20, but 200%. Yes, add another 0 to the end. 200% bonus right now on Match Bingo. Get on it, everybody. I'll see you in the next show. I'll keep you updated throughout the day with any news that drops. But have a good one for me. I'll see you all later on.